releases its plans to end COVID-19 public health emergencies.
And in sports, Ohio softball's head coach speaks ahead of tomorrow's season opener. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Taylor Mondragon.
And I'm Reese Thompson. Welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio.
Athens city officials are pushing for better sidewalks across Athens. The goal is to make the sidewalks smoother and more accessible.
Newswatch reporter Chloe G. Workman has a look at the multi-million-dollar plan.
Thank you, guys. While this plan won't be easy by any means, it will vastly improve many pedestrians' quality of life.
Longtime resident of Athens, Davey McNelly sometimes finds he can't get where he needs to go.
Sometimes going out into the street in Athens means that you have to go over bricks that are just as bad as that sidewalk. So sometimes I have to give up and just not go to the place I was going to, or go, a half a mile around in a different route to be able to get there.
Nearly a quarter of Athens' 38 miles of sidewalks aren't in compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. A new report from the city's Pedestrian Accessibility Committee calls on the city to invest about $3 million to address issues with sidewalks, curbs, and access to businesses to create a safer and more accessible city.
We don't want to wait for someone to seriously hurt themselves. If we see the problem, we really should have a plan to address it. I know it's complicated, and I know it's expensive, but it's just the right thing to do.
While it may appear a business uptown may be handicap accessible, all it takes is just one step for someone in a wheelchair to not be able to get in.
This year they've allocated $30,000 for businesses. They can apply to, put a ramp up to their business, put in accessible parking, widen doorways, put in a push button door. So with that, we hope to also gradually increase business accessibility.
It's just the first step in a long road that advocates say fulfill community members' needs. For Newswatch, I'm Chloe G. Workman in Athens.
Some of the main priorities for this committee include crosswalks, sidewalks, and they will be meeting again here in March.
Thank you so much, Chloe. I know campus can be pretty inaccessible as well. Is there anything happening with that?
You're right about that, Reese. And while this committee focuses mainly on Athens as a city, they will be spreading their efforts to campus.
West Virginia Republicans plan to fast-track a bill that will cut the state's income tax by 15%. The state currently has a surplus of $1 billion, largely due to taxes on coal, oil, and gas industries. And in a state that has one of the highest poverty rates in the country, GOP Senate leaders want to return some of that money back to the public through various tax cuts. Lawmakers say their plan is a safer option compared to ideas pushed by Governor Jim Justice, whose proposal would cut personal income tax by 50% over 3 years.
Hello, I'm Isabel Isco, your forecaster for tonight. And right now, what we are looking at is some high temperatures that we so desperately needed. As we go into this, you'll see that this morning we were feeling very seasonal, and then all of a sudden that orange, that yellow comes in. We are feeling warm. About 73 for Athens right now. We're going into this 71 right now. Those partly cloudy skies, what we're really focusing on other than those high temperatures are those gusts. Right now we're at about 41 miles an hour for those gusts with those 20-mile-per-hour surface winds. Today we're feeling those mostly cloudy skies. Again, that temperature high of about 73. That low is going to be coming in tonight. Going into this, we're feeling pretty clear today other than, again, those wind gusts. That wind advisory is going to be hitting us until about 10 p.m. Those high wind warnings are going to be more east, and then we're going more with the wind advisories in our area. Now, going into our full weather, I'll see how that will impact our week. Go back to you, Taylor.
Thank you. A News Nation reporter is released from jail after being arrested during a news conference Wednesday evening. Evan Lambert was reporting live as Ohio authorities discussed the recent East Palestine train derailment. During Governor Mike DeWine's remarks, Lambert was asked to end his broadcast because the volume of his reporting was perceived to be interfering with the event. He was arrested as soon as he got off the air. Lambert says he was just doing his job.
So all I can say is that person had a right to be reporting. They should have been allowed to report. If they were in any way hampered from reporting, that certainly is wrong, and it's not anything that I approve of. In fact, I vehemently disapprove of it.
News Nation says they are relieved that Lambert, who is facing charges of criminal trespass and disorderly conduct, is safe and getting some much-needed respite.
Former Meigs County Sheriff Keith Wood is indicted on 5 counts coming from his time in office. According to a press release from Auditor of State Keith Faber, the indictment includes charges of theft in office, telecommunication fraud, misuse of credit cards, and soliciting or accepting improper compensation. The Auditor's Special Investigations Unit began investigating Wood last August after receiving a complaint from the Meigs County prosecutor. An arraignment date has been set, though it has not been released to the public. Federal prosecutors in the trial, former House Speaker Larry Householder and Republican Party Chair Matt Borg says First Energy is planning to spend more than $250,000. This is to block petitioners from gathering signatures to repeal the bailout, a law passed in 2019 for private investigators to follow around opponents of the nuclear power plant bailout. State correspondent Andy Chow reports. A spokesperson from the voting campaign, Gene Pierce, says First Energy was using his words thug tactics to stop the repeal and says they were clearly interfering with Ohioans' right of free speech. Petitioners were not able to collect enough signatures and the referendum failed. Governor Mike DeWine and the State Medical Board of Ohio are advancing legislation to protect patients from doctors who are sexually abused or harass those in their care. If signed into law, the bill would require physicians on probation for sexual misconduct to inform their patients. The bill would also allow the board to automatically suspend a doctor's license for 90 days if they are indicted or formally have their license revoked in another state. Coming up after the break, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention adds COVID-19 to its list of routinely recommended vaccines. And financial infidelity could spell disaster for relationships. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, nothing is more fun than finding treasures in Tennessee.
My granddaughter wanted to make mud pies in it.
Sounds fun to me.
What I like about his work is it's not too serious. It's just a really easy and kind of fun, cheerful thing for everybody to appreciate.
That sounds good. That's very good.
Watch Antiques Roadshow next time from Cheekwood Estate and Gardens.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
In a Frontline special presentation,
hundreds of civilians have been killed in the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv.
A dramatic look inside Russia's attack on Kharkiv, told by the people living through it. The displaced families, civilians caught in the fight, and those risking everything.
Let's go.
To protect them.
You can call it any way you want, but it's a war.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
Illegal opioids circulating is contaminated with fentanyl.
I could do this shot and I could die.
It's lost so many people and continue to lose people in this crisis.
The community has really come together and it's just very heroic.
Aloneness is a major driver of addiction.
We have become the family.
Love in the Time of Fentanyl, Monday, February 13th at 10/9 Central on Independent Lens.
The COVID shot is now on the list of routine vaccinations for children, teens, and adults, according to the Center for Disease Control.
The new recommendations were published in CDC's Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report. Along with COVID, updates include additional guidance on vaccines for the flu, MMR, and hepatitis B. However, this does not mean schools will require vaccination to enroll. Those vaccination requirements are still being determined by the state or local jurisdictions, not by the CDC. The new CDC recommendations come ahead of a monumental shift in the fight against COVID.
President Joe Biden is expected to unveil a roadmap to help the nation prepare for when the public health emergency declaration for the virus ends in May.
After roughly 3 years, it appears the U.S. has the upper hand on COVID-19.
Today, our nation is in a much different position than we were at the start of the pandemic. We have built a wall of immunity and expanded the tools available to decrease the risk of severe disease and death from COVID-19.
Last week, President Joe Biden issued a statement saying he plans to end COVID-19 national and public health emergencies by May 11th.
While the virus is not gone, thanks to the resilience of the American people and the ingenuity of medicine, we've broken the COVID grip on us.
But during Tuesday night's State of the Union address, Biden also said the White House's previously stated goals set to protect the population remain in place.
We still need to monitor dozens of variants and support new vaccines and treatments. So Congress needs to fund these efforts and keep America safe.
A source close to the administration says the White House will release a roadmap to make sure the public knows what ending the COVID-19 declaration entails.
We've managed the effects of COVID through increasingly available vaccines and treatments. And we're figuring out how to apply lessons from this pandemic to enhance health security going forward.
At least $191 billion in pandemic unemployment benefits may have been improperly paid, according to the Department of Labor's Office of Inspector General. The update estimated was released Wednesday as part of a House Ways and Means Committee hearing. That hearing was titled "The Greatest Theft of Taxpayer Dollars: Unchecked Unemployment Fraud." Republicans say they're highlighting the widespread fraud that permitted the COVID relief programs enacted in the early years of the pandemic. Those include the Paycheck Protection Program, economic injury disaster loans, and enhanced jobless benefits.
Valentine's Day is just around the corner, but many people are celebrating love and romance. Many couples are contending with infidelity, but not in the way you might think. Ivan Rodriguez takes a look at why people cheat with their money and how this can cause big problems in your relationship.
While it may not be the basis for a scandalous soap opera storyline, financial infidelity can be the source of some serious relationship drama.
Money is a really emotional, important topic.
Bankrate senior industry analyst Ted Rossman says secret spending along with hidden debt or accounts can be a real cause for concern in a relationship.
It's hard enough to meet your financial goals if you're pulling in the same direction. It's that much harder if somebody is squirreling money away or keeping secret debt or secret accounts.
And all that hiding can have lasting consequences.
I think the longer the secret festers, the worse the breach of trust is going to feel if it does come out, and it probably will at some point.
Talking about money for many Americans feels taboo.
People want privacy. They don't want somebody else looking over their shoulder. They're embarrassed about the way they handle money.
But the key to a healthy relationship and healthy finances, Rossman says, is honesty and communication.
It's important to schedule some time, whether it's formal or informal, just to check in with your spouse on money. Everything from the routine bills that need to be paid to the big picture stuff.
He advises starting small and taking a positive approach while coming up with mutual financial goals and achieving your dreams. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
There is currently a shortage of bus drivers in the U.S. Newswatch reporter Madison Moore tells us how one local school district is responding. That story's still ahead.
And for us right here, we've been dealing with high winds, those rains, and those cloudy skies. We're definitely going to be more into that in my full weather coming up. Now, to stay up to latest with Newswatch, check us out on our Instagram, Twitter, and our YouTube.
In a Frontline special presentation,
Hundreds of civilians have been killed in the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv.
a dramatic look inside Russia's attack on Kharkiv, told by the people living through it. The displaced families, civilians caught in the fight, and those risking everything.
Let's go.
to protect them.
You can call it any way you want, but it's a war.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, nothing is more fun than finding treasures in Tennessee.
My granddaughter wanted to make mud pies in it.
Sounds fun to me.
What I like about his work is it's not too serious. It's just a really easy and kind of fun, cheerful thing for everybody to appreciate.
That sounds good. That's very good.
Watch Antiques Roadshow next time from Cheekwood Estate and Gardens.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
Lucy Ware Webb was born here. As a young lady, as the wife of the governor, as the wife of the president of the United States, she's always the same person. Just a terrific lady. As residents of Chillicothe, we're very, very proud of her. To have a person of that character to represent this community, small as it is, in the White House.
Illegal opioids circulating is contaminated with fentanyl.
I could do this shot and I could die.
It's lost so many people and continue to lose people in this crisis.
The community has really come together, and it's just very heroic.
Aloneness is a major driver of addiction. We have become the family.
Love in the Time of Fentanyl, Monday, February 13th at 10, 9 Central on Independent Lens.
Welcome back. And like I said, those high temperatures have been lingering and making us feel rather unseasonable here right in Southeast Ohio. Those highest temperatures that we've been feeling, 73. I know over here I saw 75. Not so lucky for West, but we're feeling pretty warm here right now. Like I said, in Athens, 71, going down more south is in the 70s. The more west you go, definitely feeling a lot cooler. Right now, 71, those partly cloudy skies like we've been feeling for most of the day. Those surface winds about 20 miles an hour, which are leaving our gusts about 41 miles an hour. Those high wind chances and those high wind advisories and wind advisories have been lingering for all of the day. We're definitely going to be feeling those high winds going into tonight. I know the National Weather Service has been inducted that until about 10 p.m. tonight. So if you're heading out there, definitely going to be on the windy side. That overnight low is about 38. Definitely going to be feeling a lot more seasonal. It was nice to take off those jackets for the day, but you might need a light one if you're going out tonight. Those cloudy skies are going to be sticking around, going mostly into the day. Like we've been feeling this morning, we had those light chance of rain, but that rain chance really went away as the day went on, and we missed all that snow. Definitely feeling good here. We're going to be seeing those clouds like we've been dealing with most of the day. You could see that boundary. That is why we're feeling that wind that we are. That boundary is picking up those high winds and those the chances of those cloudy skies. You could see here that low pressure is what brought us that rain, those cloudy skies, and the high pressure is coming in. Going into tomorrow, that high pressure is lingering, and we're going to be feeling very on the cloudy side still, but we're not going to be feeling those rain chances like we did this morning, just here and there. Definitely going to be feeling a lot better for this weekend. Tomorrow, we're going to have that high about 47 and that low of 24. Going to be feeling a lot more seasonal, not like today. Definitely going to be feeling a little sad missing those 60 to 70 degree temperatures. Going into this weekend, we're going to be feeling pretty constant with that. We're going to have those highs of about 47, 44 on Saturday. Those lows pretty consistently in those mid-20s. Going into that 7-day outlook, we're not going to be feeling those rain chances until later next week. So definitely tune in to see if you're going to need that umbrella. Go back to the desk.
Thanks, Isabel. A national substitute bus driver shortage is still underway across the country.
Newswatch reporter Madison Moore joins us in the studio to tell us about how one local school district is handling this issue.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Reese. Yes, I spoke with multiple staff members that have been affected by this issue and how they are handling it.
I am actually driving a different route every day.
Joe Smith is one of 2 full-time substitute bus drivers at Alexander local schools.
Some days there has been first in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning phone call, hey, such and such is sick, and I jump on it.
Alexander local schools and school districts nationwide are struggling to find substitute drivers to get behind the wheel. Resignation and retirement are a few factors of the shortage. This year, the hourly wage for substitute drivers went from $14 to now $18.
We had to do that to be competitive. Local districts around us were paying significantly more.
Superintendent Will Hampton says there are a lot of job opportunities for people who are willing to work. Carly Jordan, an Alexander local school's mom and first-year bus driver, says the more substitutes means the district doesn't have to pull people from other key positions.
So the more the merrier, obviously. We want not to have our mechanics have to go in there and drive when they should be in the garage helping, if a bus breaks down or something.
One of those mechanics is Shane Thompson. He recently just filled in for a driver that was out sick. Shane says student safety is a priority for him, and he prefers to be on deck just in case a packed bus breaks down on a route.
So we don't have to worry about the kids sitting in a bus for an hour while we're out on another route and have to wait on us to get another bus to them.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Madison Moore in Albany.
Superintendent Will Hampton told me the district is handling the shortage day by day and will make sure their students get to and from school safely.
Yeah, Madison, has there been any progress in filling these much needed positions?
Absolutely. Right now they currently have 3 substitute teachers in training, but they are always looking for more applicants.
Thank you.
Coming up in sports, Ohio softball opens up its season tomorrow against George Mason. Hear from new head coach Jenna Holst and speak about her new team when Newswatch returns.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
Illegal opioids circulating is contaminated with fentanyl.
I could do the shot and I could die.
It's lost so many people and continue to lose people in this crisis.
The community has really come together and it's just very heroic.
Aloneness is a major driver of addiction. We have become the family.
Love in the Time of Fentanyl, Monday, February 13th at 10/9 Central on Independent Lens.
What do you have, spies working for you? How did you find this?
There's so much hope, joy, and life in that music.
I put it on. Wow.
Ooh, I like that.
When I first heard that song, I thought, here's somebody speaking what I feel.
I love this.
Okay, mind blown.
All this and more, now streaming on the PBS app.
In a Frontline special presentation,
Hundreds of civilians have been killed in the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv.
a dramatic look inside Russia's attack on Kharkiv, told by the people living through it, the displaced families, civilians caught in the fight, and those risking everything
Let's go.
to protect them.
You can call it any way you want, but it's a war.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
Welcome back. I'm Joe Collins. With the state tournament less than a week away, the teams of Hardwood Heroes are entering their final dress rehearsal before the big dance starts. One game of note last night featured the TVC Hockey co-champions Waterford taking on rival Fort Fry in a non-conference showdown. The game came down to the final seconds, and the Wildcats' attempt to tie it was just short as the Cats fell 32-30 to end the regular season. Waterford is ranked third in the Southeast 2 District in Division 4 for the state title. One game happening tonight will be between the Meigs Marauders and Federal Hockey Lancers. Tonight could also be the night that Meigs senior center Riley Lisley goes over 1,000 points for her career. The Marauders finished third in the TVC Ohio with an 8-4 conference record. They will face Oak Hill in the state tournament on February 15th. To find out everything you need to know as far as SEO basketball, catch Hardwood Heroes this Sunday night. Staying on the hardwood but graduating up to college, the Ohio women's basketball team was in action last night at the Convo for a matchup with the Bowling Green Falcons. Unfortunately for the last place Bobcats, their opponent just so happened to be winners of 9 straight and atop the MAC. They made quick work of the Bobcats, outscoring them 63-28 over the final 3 quarters. During that stretch, Ohio shot just 20% from the field, including 1 of 15 in the 4th quarter. With the loss, the Cats fall to 2-9 in conference and 4-18 overall. They'll host Northern Illinois this Saturday at 2 p.m. inside the Combo. Word to Rihanna, shine bright like a diamond. It's Super Bowl week, so I can say that, but the Ohio softball team looks to shine bright on their diamond when its season starts tomorrow. With that season starting, that brings the annual MAC preseason coaches poll, and the Cats find themselves picked to finish 3rd in the MAC. Ohio will look a little different as they return just 1 All-MAC player from last year's club, infielder Analia Paoli. Bobcats will be led by first-year head coach Jenna Hall, who comes back to Ohio after 10 seasons. Hall likes the energy she's seen from her young group so far.
This team is really, really excited about what's ahead. They just come after it every single day. They've upheld our standards every single day, and I couldn't have a more excited bunch to get on the road. And they've already been blowing me up this morning about being game week, and just a really good, energetic, competitive, boundary-pushing bunch that I'm excited about.
With Ohio hockey splitting their series last weekend with top-ranked Minot State, there was a shakeup in the ACHA rankings with just a few games left in the regular season. The Bobcats moved up to 3rd in the rankings, jumping the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, who split its series with Utah. Minot State holds the top spot since it was only their first loss when Adrian College remains at 2nd. Ohio split both of its series with the Beavers and Bobcats this year. The Cats have a rare Friday night off before hosting Robert Morris Saturday. It will be the final game of their 22-game homestand. They play at Liberty next week. Just think about this. Next week will be the first time since October that there hasn't been a home game at Bird Arena.
And didn't you say it was 22 games in a row at home? That is crazy. That doesn't happen very often. And what are we going to do now for OU students now that they can't see a hockey game anymore?
Absolutely. And don't worry, they're back home the week after.
Perfect. Well, hopefully not too long. And thank you, Joe. Now here's a final look at weather.
Yes, those cloudy skies have been lingering for today and going into tomorrow. We're definitely going to be feeling those for the rest of those weekend. Going into tonight, that overnight low of about 38. If you're heading outside, I know right now we're really hitting those windy conditions. We're hitting about 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts right now. So if you're heading out there, please be careful. Going into tomorrow, that high of about 47 and that low of about 24. Looking into our weekend, we're looking mighty pleasant, and looking into that 7-day, we're looking very seasonal, not unlike today.
Thanks, Isabel. And finally, tonight, a 3-year-old bald eagle in West Virginia ran into a little bit of trouble back in October. This bald eagle crashed into a fence in Greenville in Monroe County last October. The eagle ended up breaking his humerus, causing him to lose his ability to fly. As if that wasn't enough, he also had a high lead content, which ended up making him sick. But after extensive surgery and rehab, this eagle can once again take flight. The eagle was released back into the wild at Bluestone Lake in the New River Gorge. It took about 4 months in total for the eagle's rehabilitation, which is right on target. He is expected to thrive in his new home in Bluestone Lake.
That was kind of sad. Whenever animals get hurt, it kind of pulls the heartstrings a little more than anything else.
Truly, but I'm so glad that they were able to rehabilitate him and get him back out into the wild.
Yes, for sure. Well, that does for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Reese Thompson.
And I'm Taylor Mondragon. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Support comes from Snyder Strode Jarrett Financial in Athens, providing investment and retirement planning assistance to Southeast Ohio for over 50 years. Snyder Strode Jarrett, not just another financial firm. More information at ssj.finance.